More than 100 million people across Europe are sweating through their shirts in 95-degree weather in less time than it takes me to finish this sentence. And Europe's response to this 108-degree temperature spree has been a spirited, continent-wide debate over whether air conditioning is morally acceptable. And that's not a joke. In France, a poll has found that 78% of people there believe that air conditioning is environmentally unfriendly. The leader of the French left, he said, we must absolutely not install air conditioning everywhere. That would only make things worse. What a concept. See that we're killing the planet and it's killing us, and stop doing those things that are causing it. I mean, and here's the thing, go ahead and laugh, but this guy's not wrong. Air conditioning, of course, runs on power, and a lot of that power still comes from burning the exact stuff that's heating the planet up in the first place. And every air conditioning unit, it works by taking the heat out of your living room and dumping it somewhere else. So when we crank the AC to survive the heat, the more we feed the thing that's making the heat. Vicious little cycle. And the French, for all of our eye rolling that we do at them, they're at least looking at that loop and saying, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't just floor the gas pedal. Maybe we can be a little uncomfortable for a minute. They're connecting cause and effect. And people in America are going, wow, you can do that? And to all of our new European subscribers, there's a lot of you. And first of all, welcome and thank you guys for watching. We genuinely love you, and God, I am so thrilled that you're here. But we do have to talk, because Americans like me, our brains can't physically process what you guys are doing over there. I mean, you've got Italians who won't flip on their AC unit because they're frightened of the colpo di aria, the hit of air, that folk belief that a cool draft will give you a stiff neck, or depending on which grandmother you ask, it'll end your life right on the spot. And sure, some of that is pure superstition, but underneath all of those superstitions, you've got a continent that has genuinely decided comfort isn't the only thing that matters. Maybe our planet matters a little more. And while I sweat profusely when I'm over there in Europe. The heat rolls in, and the whole society over there starts arguing about the right thing to do, unlike what we do here. You guys are over there talking about the costs, who it hurts, what it does to our planet. The Europeans are having a debate. Over here, there is no debate. The heat rolls in, we walk to the thermostat, and I'm guilty of it too, and we set it to 68, and we don't spend a single second wondering why 108 degrees is normal outside in the first place. We don't have that debate over whether or not AC is moral, because having that debate would mean admitting that there's a reason that we suddenly need our AC even more. And admitting that is the one thing that our country flatly refuses to do. And it's not funny, and I've told some jokes about this, but I'm going to drop the jokes because that heat wave over there has killed about a few dozen people. And a European summer like this one, it killed more than 60,000 in 2022. And that's the part that nobody on either side of the ocean gets to be cute about, because these are not just long-term effects. But the question about the whole AC argument is, why is June suddenly the inside of a kiln? And that's not a mystery. Scientists have been telling us for years, and they even put out another study this week. The World Weather Attribution Group put out a blunt finding. The heat wave like this would have been, quote, virtually impossible without human-caused climate change. These brutal overnight temperatures, the part that actually does the killing because our bodies don't ever get to cool back down. Those nights are now 100 times more likely than they were just 20 years ago. The scientists say unequivocally that humans did this. Which brings us, like a moth to a very dim light bulb, to the single dumbest possible man to have in charge during this planetary fever. You remember Donald Trump stood up at the United Nations and called climate change the greatest con job ever perpetuated on the world.
It's climate change. Because if it goes higher or lower, whatever the hell happens, there's climate change. It's the greatest con job ever perpetrated on the world, in my opinion. Climate change, no matter what happens, you're involved in that. No more global warming, no more global cooling. All of these predictions made by the United Nations and many others, often for bad reasons, were wrong. They were made by stupid people that have cost their countries fortunes and given those same countries no chance for success. If you don't get away from this green scam, your country is going to fail. And I'm really good at predicting things, you know. They actually said during the campaign they had a hat, the best-selling hat. Trump was right about everything. And I don't say that in a braggadocious way, but it's true. I've been right about everything. And I'm telling you that if you don't get away from the green energy scam, your country is going to fail.
He then pulled us out of the Paris Climate Agreement so fast that we are now the only nation on Earth to quit it twice. And Donald Trump's big closing argument, his gotcha, his mic drop, he waited for one cold day to post, "Whatever happened to global warming?" in all caps, and he took a victory lap with that. Well, Donald, it's June. It's 108 degrees Fahrenheit in France. It doesn't cool down overnight, and people are dying in their apartments. So I'm going to hand that question right back to you, Donald Trump. Whatever happened to global warming? Because it's happening. It's outside. It's cooking entire continents. That was never a question. It was just a man who flunked 6th grade earth science, and he's holding the rest of the planet hostage. So no, the fix is not as simple as everybody go to buy an air conditioner over there, because the air conditioner is part of the trap. The real fix, it's boring, it's grown up, and it's the one that at least Europe is talking about. You clean up the power so that the cooling doesn't poison the very air you're standing in. You build for the heat that's already here, and then you take the whole thing seriously enough to be able to have a mature debate about it at your dinner table. Europe's out there doing the hard part. And the only thing standing between America and that exact same conversation is that we handed the wheel to a man who looks at this baking planet and 100 million people sweating and says, "It's not real. Crank up the AC." You know, I just keep asking, whenever I go over there, why can't we act more like the grown-ups that are across the Atlantic? You know why? Because the grown-ups across the Atlantic didn't put an arsonist in charge of their fire department. Subscribe, because this is where I'm going to keep yelling about how the planet's on fire, and the guy that could put it out swears that there is no fire.